Welcome to dHarmic Evolution. Hey everybody, I'm your host, James Kevin O'Connor, singer-songwriter, audio-video artist, master storyteller, and international talent agent. Hey, all you guys who have signed up on the dHarmic Evolution Facebook community page, I see people from all over the world starting to sign up on that and post their content. Thank you so much for coming by, signing up. Either you're there as a voyeur, which is very cool, checking out artists and original artists from around the world, or you're there as an artist yourself and posting your content, whether it be photos, a new song, a new album, a video, or you just want to stop by and chat. Digging it. Love to have you there, and thank you so much for being a part of this community, this growing community, which is just amazing to see all this talent around the world. Well, today we're outside of Portland, Oregon with a poetic singer-songwriter. She started to write pop music purely by accident. She uses humor and honesty to entrance her audiences. Her writing subjects are all about heartbreak, dependency, regret, and persistently striving to heal. Here to share with us songs from her just-released album, So What? It's the awesome songwriting and vocal prowess of Laryssa BIrdseye. You better strap up your seatbelts and let's go for a ride. Great to be in Oregon today, and I want to welcome Laryssa BIrdseye to the show. Welcome to dHarmic Evolution. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And you're the first person ever, I think, that I've had on this show. No, I had one other, actually, and I think she was from out west, too. But you are in your bed right now, very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And digging what's going on here, because you said it's warm, right?
It's the warmest place in my house, and I definitely considered moving from bed to look like I'm more of a functional human, but
right.
You know, it's 8:20 over here, so.
Functional humans are very overrated.
I agree with that. I think comfortable humans are probably doing it better.
Yeah, I agree. So, listen, I'm so happy to have you here, and the reason we got connected. A friend of mine, Julia Carey, connected you and I together. And do you know Julia?
Yeah, I've met her a couple times. She is a friend of my friend Britta.
Oh, okay.
And so we went rafting one summer, and I played her a couple songs, and she just kind of loved the music, and she's been really supportive, and she put me in contact with you.
Yeah, she's a fellow yogi, so we were talking one day, and I just mentioned the show, and she told me all about I was really, really, really happy because you're an artist in every sense of the word, and I just love the fact that you have a deep commitment to your artistry. I can hear it in your music and in your lyrics, and that's always a treat for me. I just love to have that. So tell me, how did it start for you that you got to be the poet? You got to be the songwriter. You got to be this musical spirit. When did it all start to, get traction for you?
Well, my dad was a writer, and he always placed emphasis on reading and writing in the house. And I think I kind of imitated him. I was always writing short stories. I was I was writing poetry. I was always writing whatever I could. And I loved it. And then when I hit high school, I had a period of depression and anxiety, and I started writing poetry, kind of like dark poetry, kind of trying to do the Anne Sexton, like Sylvia Plath kind of thing, but,
right.
An adolescent attempt at it.
Yeah.
And around the same time, I picked up a guitar, and I taught myself a couple chords, and I realized that I could put all of this poetry to music. And I kind of took off from there. What started as poetry became more of structured songwriting. And I think I began to pay more attention to kind of what went into making a good song, kind of making it make sense, what was pleasant to people. And I think it's the way it's become something that I use as a way to process all of my emotions and all of the things that I go through. So it's really a tool that serves me well. And now it's something that I'm, expanding upon and bringing out to more people.
It's almost like your own private apothecary, right? It's just, it serves well.
It's like a therapist, yeah.
Yeah. So how old were you when you were like struggling with the depression and things of that sort? Like what age were you?
I think I have done it. I think I really hit the struggle with depression. I think it was there. It was present my whole life.
Right.
I've always been a really sensitive kid, like a really sensitive person.
Yeah.
And I think when you are really sensitive in this world, I think you pick that up really early. Like you have a sense of what is unjust or what is unjust in the world. And I think that kind of tends to bum you out. Even when you're little and it's not personal, you just hear how the world works and how unfair it can be. And I think you just kind of start to pick that up and feel a little bit of depression. And then as you get older, I think it becomes a little bit more chemical and based on your experiences.
Yeah.
So I think my big struggle with depression started happening when I hit high school, probably around 13 or 14.
Yeah, I think that's the age for most of us, except for me. I mean, I just came out of mine this morning. It's been a while. So it's like,
yeah.
But music is so therapeutic for, I mean, I think a lot of us are that way, the way you just described. Like, you know, if you're a writer, that's kind of like it's a comfort zone to go to say, I need to deal with some things. And, you know, that venting and just, you know, getting that out of your system, even if it's short term, it feels good, you know, to have that going on. So why don't we listen to one of your tracks and let everybody know what's going on, because I think you're done for this. Let's listen to Done For.
I've been losing lately. I've been talking too much, not listening enough, been going crazy. I've been drinking like I'm trying to drown. Cigarettes keep burning down. I light another. A flame, all of my embers burn to ash, and there ain't no going back. Oh Lord, I'm done for. Oh Lord, I'm done for. Sin, I've been sinning. I've been sinning. Oh, I've been sinning. And love, oh, I've been searching, but I ain't winning. And I've got a bottle in my head, trying to erase the man who tore me open. And I'll drink my weight in chemicals, drown the shadow of a soul into getting what I'm hoping for in the morning. Here's to getting what I'm hoping for in the morning. Lord, forgive me. Please forgive me for what I've done. 'Cause I've been petty, and I've been ugly, and I've come undone. And should I die before I wake? And this wretched soul escapes from this tired body. Take me to a kind of place, take away these memories, and I'll go quietly. I'll go quietly. Tell me love, walk quietly. Oh, I've been losing lately, and I've been talking too much, not listening enough, been going crazy. And I've been drinking like I'm trying to drown,
is Done For. What a great song. I love your voice and the vibe you got going there. Can you share the story behind Done For, Laryssa?
Yeah.
What was that about?
It's a pretty dark, it was from a pretty dark time in my life. I was pretty unhappy. I was in a kind of toxic relationship. We were, in retrospect, looking back, we were both pretty awful to each other. But it was one of those push-pull, like really trying to leave him, try to get out of it, and him doing the same. And it just kind of felt like a hopeless situation. It didn't really feel like I was ever truly going to be able to leave. And I was going through a really rough time with drinking. Just could not stop, really.
Right.
So I was just this bad toxic time in my life, and I was drunk when I wrote it, actually. And I never drink when I write, or I never write when I drink, rather. I don't find that it really frees me up at all. I think most people tend to experience a little bit of freedom in their writing, like a little more fluidity, but that's never really been the case for me. This has been the only exception. But I think for me in that moment, I really wanted to just say, without kind of being clever about it, without trying to like, oh, but it'll be fine kind of thing. I really just wanted to say how I felt. Yeah. And so it's ended up, it's a pretty dark song, and I think it doesn't make any excuses for itself. It just is. It's just, this is how I feel. Right. And I don't know if it's going to be better.
I like the song a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about, while we're talking about that, drinking and playing, performing, writing, what are your rules? Like, do you like have a few when you get on stage, or you don't drink at all? Like when you play out, like what is your rules without,
In my early 20s, there were no rules.
Yeah, I can relate.
No rules. I definitely, there were shows where I held it together for the most part. I was always drinking for the shows. There were times I held it together, and there were times where I just completely, like, the thing about drinking and singing, especially, I feel like you can get away with it with your instrument, but when it's part of your body, yeah. I'm not able to do the things that I'm able to do sober. So I had a point when I was 24 or 25, where I was like, no more, not doing this anymore. This is kind of embarrassing. I'm just going to take myself more seriously. I'm going to take this more seriously. So my rules now are, I take care of my voice. I don't drink before I go on stage. And right now I'm kind of in this place where I'm not drinking in general. Right. I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus. I think it doesn't really make me happy. In your like young life, I think it's this exciting thing you can do. You can get plastered, you can just black out and have the time of your life, and then as you get a little bit older,
well, not blacking out, because then you can't have fun. Well, with it.
I mean,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But then as you get a little bit older, the hangovers are worse. You have higher expectations for yourself. Yeah. And you're like, oh man, did I really do that all again? So I've been taking a break, and it really has helped a lot. I feel clear-headed. I feel so much more able to focus. Yeah. On music and accomplishing what I want to do in my career, and it's been great. I highly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was the same way when I was like, a youngster, and being German Irish. It was like, I could knock them down, man. It was always on top of the amp, was a couple of beers. And then, as I got closer to 30, I just changed one day. I said, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's like, I want to know every nerve ending on edge, because I feel it moves you forward as a performer, a writer, whether if you're a guitar player or whatever you are, musical. Absolutely. I think you kind of mask over stuff. Like you're not paying attention as much, So
Absolutely.
I
think, it's like performing. Like performing when you're drunk is like it's this fake connection. Yeah. I feel like as a musician, as a performer, you have to take you have to harness that anxiety and that energy, and you have to conquer it, and you have to interact with the audience in a way where it's authentic and it's real. And when you're drunk, you're just like, hello there, like, it's my time. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the audience is there, you're going to do the same thing.
You got to use that. use that anxiety as fuel for your performance. You know, it's like it just brings you to places like and you have to use your own bravery. You know, not just say, well, I'm feeling no pain, so I'll just try this silly move and see if it works. You know. Yeah, so I'm an advocate for that. I encourage everybody that I meet to say, you know, don't drink, you know, like don't, you know, I know you're up there with the boys and having fun and the girls or whatever, but you know, just try it with ice water and see what happens. Hey, you were talking about the fires in Oregon. What's going on with that? Are things under control now, or is it still bad?
Yeah. As far as I know, the forest fire that is closest to Portland. I can't speak for the rest of the state, but the forest fire that really kind of broke everyone's heart, at least for Portlanders, is the Eagle Creek fire. So we have this place a little bit east of Portland. It's this expanse of forest, like thousands and thousands of acres. And it's called the Columbia Gorge. And a couple teenagers in August, in the driest month, threw a couple firecrackers down and lit the whole thing. And so, like, hundreds of thousands of acres burned. I think they've got it 50% contained. Yeah. Or maybe a little bit more because it has been raining. The last I checked, it was 50% contained. Yeah. So it's getting there, but a lot of it went up, and it's going to be changed for a while, for definitely a while. I mean, forever, but it's probably not. The thing about it, it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. There are so many hiking trails. It's like this treasure for Oregonians, and it's kind of ruined at the moment. Yeah, so
that is really sad.
It was crazy. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I had to go out to work, and I work in a soup cart, and so that there's just the smoke everywhere. So I wore this ventilator, which wasn't really doing much. Right. And ash rained down on the city. It looked like a scene. I was like some apocalyptic, hellscape.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the worst part.
It just makes you think.
The worst part for me was you canceled our interview last week.
I know.
That is hard. I mean, you see all that forest going. It's such a crime. People don't realize what they're doing. Really, really terrible. Yeah. I think it's time to play Haunt. It's a good time to play Haunt. Here we go.
About you, so every song I write is a lie. Saw your photograph, you looked happy, and without me you have made it back to light. Felt the sunlight through my window, felt the sting of your memory. I suspect that I am still far too easy to please. I can't escape that I can't escape from you. You were sleeping now, but I can't help wondering what you've been up to. I like to forget your face, I like to forget my own. Thanks for all the kind words, but I'd rather you just left me alone. Every song I write is about you, and let me tell you, it gets old quick. Been chasing shadows, dancing on a concrete wall like starlight. What I see just isn't there. Oh, and there's a better man than you with the best intentions, but I feel it like I'm still stuck staring at the
Haunt. Great production on that too. It set up such a vibe. So what's the story on that one? Really, another good song. Really good.
Thanks. It was about, I actually wrote Haunt about my first relationship, kind of my first love. And we had a really, kind of, for me, I won't speak to what happened with him, but it was a very intense, brief-ish kind of relationship. A lot of stuff happened toward the end that we were too young to deal with.
Right.
And it kind of blew up, and I think that because we were so young, neither of us knew how to handle it. And, the relationship was wrecked, the friendship was wrecked, and it was very abrupt for me also. So it was very difficult to let go of that kinship, of that friendship, really. And I felt like for years afterwards, for several years, I just couldn't really fully get away from basically that love, like that intensity of the love that I had felt.
Right.
And there was a lot of anger and a lot of resentment because I hated how I felt, because when the other person disappears in the equation, you're left with all of this baggage. Yeah. And you're almost haunted by it. And, so it was a song to someone that wasn't there anymore. And it helped a lot in writing it. Honestly, I feel like it helped set to rest. Yeah. Because there was a time, that line, like, every song I write is about you, so every song I write is a lie. There was a time where everything I wrote was about him, and it was just so stressful and so exhausting. Because I just didn't know if he really cared.
But you're better now.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, time and songs.
From that lesson.
Yeah, time and songs heal all things,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you can have that told to you so much when you're young. Like time will heal it, and you're like, it will never heal it.
Yeah, not when you're in the moment. Yeah. And
then you give it a couple years, and you're like,
who was
so stupid.
What was his name? Forgot his name. Who was that guy?
Yeah.
So that tea must be good because you were out gigging last night at a house concert. So how did that go?
It went really well. It was a lovely room, lovely audience. I got to play with a full band, with a drum kit as well. So it's always nice when houses allow you to play at, mid volume. We definitely didn't go all in. We played a little bit quiet, but it was really nice.
Now, when you go out full band, what is full band for you instrumentation-wise? You 4-piece, 5-piece?
5-piece. So I play the acoustic guitar and I sing. I have a guitarist, a Jai Marshall, who's very talented. Tim Karpless on keys, multi-instrumentalist, producer, amazing. Matt Brewster is on bass, and he's amazing as well. And then Sean Kenny is on the drums. All great people. I'm very blessed to have kind of created this ensemble, and everyone is really nice. We all get along. We're all friends, which I think is so important.
Excellent. So when you're doing the gig scene now, do you mix it up, Laryssa? Do you do like, solo gigs and then do full band, half band? Do you take like whatever you can get, or how does it work for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the power where I find that really, really freeing when I'm able to play solo. Like I can just do a solo set. Yeah. And it's definitely a different kind of audience. It's kind of more of a quieter audience. We do it as a trio sometimes where it's just cajon and guitar, or, cajon and bass. And we do the full band for kind of the bigger, higher stakes gigs where I want the sound to be full.
Sound is good. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. If you can do that and pull that off, it's always good to be able to just say, you want me to play here? I'll play right now, and just, pick up a guitar and play a song. That has so much value, and, doing and then being able to do all the other pieces like that. She can go out 4-piece, 5-piece, or 1-piece, whatever it takes to bring the music to the fans. This poet knows how to go it. Right back to my interview with Laryssa right after this. Are you a singer-songwriter, artist, or author? Are you in need of a platform for your career? Well, the James O'Connor Agency is in the business of helping you broadcast your global career. If you are needing to expand your presence in a big way, such as having your music and your voice heard around the world, well, look no further. We have the platforms here to help you catapult your career like no one else can. Your artistry can be featured around the world on the James O'Connor Agency YouTube channel. Here at the James O'Connor Agency, we can expand your global career by being a featured guest on dHarmic Evolution for singer-songwriters and everyone in the entertainment industry. Or The James O'Connor Show, designed for authors, speakers, and thought leaders. Both shows are international radio, TV shows, and podcasts. Go to thejamesO'ConnorAgency.com and find out what we can do for your global career right now. How about some of the scene in Oregon? Like, where is the Portland area have like a really cool music scene?
It does. I love the Portland music scene. It's very much, it's like a do-it-yourself mentality. And because I feel like there's not a ton of money backing the industry here, it's a lot of small labels. It's a lot of independent musicians that, raise money for their albums through Kickstarter or are crafty in other ways, making their own videos, kind of just doing whatever they can and touring a lot. Portland is kind of a saturated market. I feel like what I've heard about Portland is that, in towns like Seattle or LA, people tend to come out more. Like, the music scene isn't just kind of specific to other musicians. So
right.
You'll have a lot of shows where only your musician friends are there. Like, it can become a little, it's a community in the way that most communities, we all support each other and have each other's backs. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's such a great place to start and to kind of grow. And I think that everyone reaches a time where they kind of spread their wings and they venture out to other places, New York or LA or Nashville. And then, I feel like I want Portland to be my home base forever.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Nashville yet, but I've spent time in New York and I've spent time in LA. And I really love them. I love those towns. But I think I don't know if I could live there. I don't know if it's for me.
Yeah. Yeah, LA's a little tough to live in. Well, New York could be the same thing too, because if you have a lot of people who are writers, like myself, find it like overstimulating. Big cities, like whoa, and it can be a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting and it's wonderful. I mean, I love it in small doses, like a couple days or whatever. But then after a while, it's like I need my quiet space, man. I need nature, things like that.
I know. I had a friend describe it because when I first went to, I actually flew out to New York to shoot a music video. And so when we were in the city, I just had this, I think most people experience this with New York, but it was just like this magic, this sense of magic and this sense of falling in love with this beast of a city. I was just like, I have to be here. I have to retroactively be here for 10 years. Like, I just need to be here from like 20 on.
Yeah.
So I for a couple days, I was on some New York high. I was like, I'm going to move there. I'm just going to move there.
Yeah.
And I reached out to a couple of friends, and, one of my friends from high school had just moved back to Eugene, Oregon, where I went to high school, or moved back to the city, or to the town. And I asked him about his experience because he had done the conservatory program in Michigan and moved out there to kind of pursue Broadway. And he described New York as the most alone you'll ever be without having any privacy. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, good point. Good point. I will just continue. And that's what I love about the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if you've ever had any time to spend out here, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver Island, and but I haven't spent any time in Oregon, unfortunately. But
yeah, it's beautiful out here. It's lush. It's green. It can, you can find solitude within 30 minutes of wherever you go, which I think is amazing. I think that's amazing. And
Beautiful countryside. I mean, I've seen the photos and said, wow, that is just, it's so inviting. It's so beautiful. Hey, tell me about your writing regiment, Laryssa. Like, what's the best setup for you to write? Are you just one of these, anywhere I go, if I get the mood, you know, if I feel it, I'll just pick up my guitar and I'll write a song? Or do you have some kind of like best time of day that you write? Or how do you usually go into it to start creating? Well, now that we're celebrating the release of, by the way, So What? September 16th that came out, right? Just recently, a couple of weeks ago.
Recently.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. I should have started with
Thank
that.
you.
But
Thank you so much.
so tell me about that. Tell us how you get into your groove for writing. What is it? How does it work for you?
I think it's really dependent on how I feel. Sometimes I feel very, very motivated to get down and write. I'm just like, I have a song in me. Sometimes I'll be in the car and, a melody or a phrase will hit me. And, what is great about modern technology is I have like 30-second snippets on my phone of little songs that I haven't finished. Sometimes I go back and I finish them, but it's just, it's like notation. I'm just kind of saving ideas for later.
Yeah.
So sometimes I return to those ideas. Sometimes I just sit down and start practicing or playing the guitar, and then I immediately shift to just writing a song. And sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it takes one try. It's just like it's really different for me. There's not a lot of structure to it. When I write with other people, I think that the way my brain works is I really love words. I really love how they fit together. It's always a challenge to make it really true, I think.
Yeah.
I think we can get bogged down in a lot of cliches, and I really try to stay away from that. Like, I know I write a lot of love songs and breakup songs, but I try to, really convey exactly what it is that I'm feeling, like really do justice to it, not simply like, I'm so sad, like
yeah.
just kind of that general basic kind of songwriting. So I like it. I view it as a challenge.
Well, I love the fact that you like poetry. I mean, it's all over your music, which I'm a big fan of that. I try to do that myself. Is you want to tell a good story, but you want to be poetic in that. When you read it, it's almost like, wow, this just connected to my soul. Like in a big way.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess that's kind of, my dad influenced me a lot in that. Around the same time that I started writing, I started reading a lot of poetry as well, and I started getting into that, and I think that kind of has bled a little bit into my songwriting.
Yeah, I think we need to listen to another one. Here is Impact.
It down doesn't stop the fact I like to see you again. You've got yourself a reputation as the bad guy, running for your past, swearing off my kind, and I've been hurt as well, but I know it takes time between mistakes. Maybe I'm not your type. Maybe it was all in my head that night. Maybe it's time to fold. the scars scratched out of your heartstrings. Someone put too much, broke the whole damn thing. Oh, what a shame. 'Cause baby, I'm not the type of girl to chase after a maybe. Close it up, cut a rise to keep from going crazy this time. I'm afraid, 'cause I know it takes time between mistakes. Maybe I'm not your type. Maybe it was all in my head that night. Maybe it's time to fold. It really wasn't anything at all. Guess that's just the way it goes. So why am I sitting here waiting for you to call? This isn't a declaration. I'm not ready to wave that white flag. This isn't me surrendering. I'm just trying to get my balance back. I don't even really know you, but I'm still drunk from the night we had. Got me in a free fall, baby. I'm braced for the impact. Hold up, what's this? Got my head and my heart in knots twisted. I don't feel well. Should've known that you would be a gamble, and I would like to erase that night and get you out of my mind. This isn't a declaration. I'm not ready to wave that white flag. This isn't me surrendering. I'm just trying to get my balance back. And I don't even really know you, but I'm still drunk from the night we had. Got me in a free fall, baby. I'm braced for the impact. The impact. The impact. Oh, I'm braced. I'm braced for the impact.
Yeah, and you sing like a bird too. Very
Thank you.
nice. Yeah, really great vocals there. I love when you're getting up in that upper range at the end. So that was so what is Impact about?
Impact is a song about kind of having an experience with someone that you know is just not in the right place at
Right.
all.
Okay.
And you kind of fall a little bit for them, and
Right.
you're like, no, what is happening? Why did I do this? I knew that I should not have done this. So it's like that little time before you fall on your face and you feel like a fool. It's
Right.
just it's like the brace for the impact of the the brace for the consequence of what you've done.
Right.
Like
Your
fell for a
favorite-
bad boy.
Your
You fell for
favorite
a bad boy.
Yeah, your favorite subject is love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I think I'm, as I get a little bit older and I'm a little more comfortable, my relationships are not as kind of toxic and chaotic and torrential as they once were. So I think as I get away from that, I'm in a committed, steady relationship with a really wonderful person. And, I try not to write about that relationship because we're still in it.
Yeah, right. You can't do that.
I try not to be a jerk and put us on blast. Although I really I have that impulse to me. I really do. Anything goes wrong, I want to write a song about it.
Yeah,
but
that's
for the
what we
moment,
do.
I know. I'm definitely trying to figure out different ways and what to write about. And I think I think that it's working. I'm about to release a music video in a couple months. That's a song I recorded called "Save Us from Us," and it's kind of like a protest song a little bit, or just it's more political. I think that I'm getting more into the political realm a little bit,
right,
without being a political songwriter.
Okay.
I think it's hard not to kind of dip a little bit into that, especially considering the times that we live in.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely a breakup album, and I'm sure I'll return to that. That's kind of where I'm comfortable, and that's what motivates me is heartbreak, and I think that's the worst kind of pain you can go through. I mean, it's not all the same across the board, but I think it's a really deep pain when you lose someone.
Yeah, it's very deep emotionally. Don't you think that a lot of the times when you do find yourself in toxic relationships, there's something about you, me, whoever it is, that attracts that, like subconsciously, almost like unknowingly. Like, and that kind of comes in, and you're like, "What?" And I'm speaking mostly about myself, but it's like, wow, why does this keep happening? And it's like, it's such subterfuge. It's like something that's not like, it's just not in your mind, at the forefront of your mind. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's much easier for somebody else to step back, whether it's somebody in therapy or a friend or whatever who's close to you, and say, "Hey, do you realize what you're doing here? You see this same pattern going on?" And it's like,
yeah, and they're like, "Run!"
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I think you tend to attract what you are putting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the worst relationships that I was been in, and a lot of the songs on the album are about him. I was drinking, I was partying, doing drugs, messing up in all sorts of ways in my life. And I found him, and he was the same way. And we just were these flames that just burned so brightly together, just threatened to burn everything down together. And it took me a while to really, I think because we were so destructive, it took me a while to really see his destruction and then say, like, "Oh my God, I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
Like, I see where this leads, and I don't want to do this.
Right.
So it took a while, and I think through that relationship, I'm happy for it, because I think it taught me that I had to really grow out of it.
Yeah.
I had to really distance myself from that kind of lifestyle, and it's been great. I think people try to. I think people try to kind of like make fun of people that have decided to get sober and stop partying. It's like, "Oh yeah, you gave up," but it's really like, it's great. It's like the best kept secret. When you eat right, and when you exercise, and when you stop drinking, and when you sleep, you live a lot happier.
You really do. You really do. You wake up feeling great every day. I mean, I'm a committed yogi, so I'm into the whole, I drink, but very, very little, and socially, but it's, you don't, like you said, you don't need that in your life. It's, there's so many other great things in life that you can embrace that enhance your life. I think if you don't pay attention to those things, they're never going to come into your life, But
Absolutely.
I think we need to play that video. Here we go. This is the official video, and it's called "Let Me Down."
I know what I said. You don't. You're not listening. Don't speak. Just to hear the sound. I think you won't let me down.
What a great video. Awesome. Done in Portland, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Shot all over it.
Yeah. So we were just talking. You folks missed it, but we were having a really good conversation about you were a cubicle rat, and you said I had enough of this. I should be singing, and God bless you for making the move because you're definitely in your sweet spot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy I did. It was terrifying. It was very terrifying. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for money.
Right.
And I went right back to working customer service, food service jobs, because the thing is, they're so flexible. Like, because I'm not knocking the food industry, but they let you do what you want because you're so replaceable.
Right.
And it sucks, but it's really motivating to work jobs that treat you poorly.
Yeah.
I have a good job now. I'm not knocking what I'm doing now, but I definitely have worked in positions where I'm just like, I'm just looking toward that door. Like one day I'm going to get out of here. I'm just going to be like, it's motivating. It's definitely motivating.
Right.
When you're comfortable.
Well, I'm certainly glad you're a singer and a songwriter because you fit it just to a T. So why don't we, as we're just wrapping up here, Laryssa, tell us where can everybody who's listening support you? Go to your website, is it? And support your music and your schedule?
Absolutely. So I update my website with shows. You can buy the album there. I'm adding T-shirts. So anyone wants a T-shirt? It's www.LaryssaBIrdseye.com. So it's really easy. And then the album's up on iTunes and Spotify. So check it out. It's a 12-track breakup album detailing every failed relationship I've had. Every single one is on there. Every ex-boyfriend I've had is
really
featured.
wow.
Yeah, I don't think any of them know this.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they don't because I'm not in contact with them.
Right.
But I wonder if they'd be mad. I feel like they might be mad.
Yeah. Well, I won't tell if you won't tell. How's that?
Sounds good.
Laryssa, thank you so much for being a part of the dHarmic Evolution. Really enjoyed your music, your songs, your video, your stories, and I'm so glad the fires are out there in Oregon, so you can breathe beautiful air once again. And
thank you so much, James. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we had a great time, and this is going to be awesome to get you out there and into the world. So blessings on you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you ever wonder why you were created and what you're here to do? Then the geography of the soul will help you to find your true place in this world. The music is so inspirational, including tracks such as I Wanna Be Loved, State of Grace, and Ride On. James Kevin O'Connor is an internationally acclaimed singer, songwriter, music producer, entertainment agent, TV star, and a loving father who leads you to find your true place and calms your mind and soul in breathtaking ways. Buy Geography of the Soul today by James Kevin O'Connor at iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon, jameskevino'connor.com. Geography of the Soul, a beautiful CD that you need to own today by James Kevin O'Connor.
Sponsored by the James O'Connor Agency. Done for, Haunt, Impact, and Let Me Down. And the apocalyptic hellscape with the fires outside of Portland. Yes, Laryssa has a way of creating poetry even in casual conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed today's visit with this awesome talent. Laryssa today on the dHarmic Evolution. I think this was a dHarmic Evolution first. Laryssa and Felix did their side of the broadcast in bed under the covers where it was safe and warm. Hey, if you have not had the chance yet, you should head over to the James O'Connor Agency website. You got to check it out. Artists all over the world checking in, taking advantage of all the products this agency is offering them. You may have also heard that we write songs for authors. Very true. We just wrote and produced a song for alumni distinguished professor Scott Geller from Virginia Tech University. Now, Scott now has a flagship song that supports his brand, Actively Caring for People. You should check out the website for this. That's really amazing. AC4P. It's the letters AC, the number 4, the letter P.org. We released this song recently, and it is called Here to Share and Care. I'm going to play it at the end of this broadcast just so you get a handle on what he's doing for the world with this organization. It's really, really important work. Hey, do you need funding for your next album project, single, or video? Well, go over to the JamesO'ConnorAgency.com. Let us connect you with how to get funded for your next project. It's easier than you think. We also want to encourage you to visit dharmicevolution.com. Check out your show and blog profile right now. If you've been on the show, you're now on the site. Laryssa is now on the site, and people from around the world are logging in to see and hear all about Laryssa and her music. That's it for me today. I'm your host for the dHarmic Evolution, James Kevin O'Connor, singer-songwriter, audio-video artist, master storyteller, and international talent agent. And as promised, here it is, Professor Scott Geller's new anthem, Here to Share and Care. Catch you next time.
Did you ever stare into darkness and look for the light? Have you ever felt compassion that makes your heart come alive? A simple act of kindness will nurture a spark in your heart. You've just sown the seed to help someone in need. We all love, we all cry, and we bleed. We are here to share and actively care. We all have this special yearning that's burning inside. I think it's called love. It's all about love. Step out of your comfort zone and please do not be afraid. Compassion, comfort, and kindness are virtuous foundations laid. Know what it feels like to be lonely, hungry, and cold. A smile will arise as you give yours away. We should feel this way every day. We are here to share and actively care. We all have this special yearning that's burning inside. I think it's called love. It's all about love. Love. To share.